video of the day. I've done my mate's 60th birthday top 10. I've already been out with Rocky and had a cup of coffee and ready to do this one. Now, today's live album ranking is the maestro of the keyboards and piano, Mr. Rick Wakeman. Of Yes, of course, and the Strawbs, and a fantastic solo career as well. Made some fantastic albums, and we're going to have a look at them today. There's 13. So we'll start at number 13, and it is Live at the BBC that came out in 2007, and these are live performances from the Hammersmith Odeon and the Maltings in Farnham. Rick Wakeman played the keyboards, Ashley Holt did the vocals, John Dunsterville guitar, Martin Shields on the trumpet, Reg Brooks on the trombone, and the Mr. Tony Fernandez on drums. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because these do appear later. So it's a 2-disc thing. So disc 1, you get something from Music Reincarnate. You get part 3, The Spaceman, Catherine Howard, Sir Lancelot and the Black Knight, Arthur, another bit of the Music Reincarnate. Number 4, The Realization, The Forest, Catherine Parr, The Prisoner and Merlin Magician. And on the second disc you get the same tracks. So one was done at Maltings and one was done at Hammersmith. Okay, so nice little package, but did they really I don't think Rick had much to do with this, to be quite honest, because they're on, they're just taken from one other album. They just put them on the same one. So I'll give that a 5 out of 10 just for turning up, really. Okay, number 12, we've got a box full of boots, which was released in 2019. It's basically a set of gigs. I'm not going to go through all the tracks, but I'll just go through what's in the box set. You've got one recorded in Russia in 2001. There's some lovely stories on his Grumpy Old Man audio book about that. It's a very poor recording. It sounds like someone's done it on a little tape recorder. Then in 1990, the Vienna gig. It's a fair recording, actually. It's not too bad, you can understand. And then you get one from 1975 in Tokyo, and that is absolutely awful. It's very mumbly. Then from Chiropody in UK 2010, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, it's 2010, so even Bootleg sounded good. 2000, Buenos Aires in Argentina, excellent. But the worst one is from Sheffield Hall in 1981. Now, this one sounds like that someone stood one at the back outside the toilet and just put a microphone through the main hall. It's not very good. He returned to Japan in 2008, and this is the best performance. It's him doing a piano recital, and it's stunning performance. The number 8 is Edinburgh from 1987. It's not too bad. You can listen to that one. Then he's back to Osaka in Japan. A very good recording again. Number 10 was done at Dumaria Festival in 2001, and it's not too bad. And the last one, Derby, 1991. Now, this recording, you remember back in the day when we went to festivals, we went to record fairs in the mid-80s, and you'd get some bloke with a rack of cassettes. Sounds like that. It's not too bad. I mean, these are all on Spotify, so I haven't got these. Some are bad and some of them are good, and I'm glad that I can just listen to the ones now if I want on Spotify. So I shall give that an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Coming in at number 11 is an album released in 1994, and it's live on the test. Now, this is live at the Maltings, so it's Rick, Ashley, John, Roger, Tony, Martin and Reg. So we'll go through these. You get Recollection, which is the music which is sort of a thing that he put together for this. He did that a lot, where he puts music together for actually shows. Then from No Earthly Connection we have The Realisation. Sir Lancelot from The Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, which is absolutely superb. Back to the No Earthly Connection for the Spaceman. That's pretty cool. I like that track. Catherine Parr from The Wives of Henry VIII. Brilliant track that is. The Prisoner from No Earthly Connection, and we end this one with Merlin the Magician from the King Arthur. Yeah, they're great recordings, but sometimes the trumpet's there for no reason. It doesn't think, but I still think it's a fun gig, so I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 10. Now, remember he did a concert in Buenos Aires. They brought it out. It was out of the blue. So it's Rick Wakeman on keyboards, Adam Wakeman on keyboards and backing vocals, Tony Fernandez on drums and percussion, Damien Wilson of Threshold and Now Arena, and Glyn on guitars and backing vocals, and the wonderful Mr. Lee Pomeroy on the bass. So you get a bit of Journey of the Centre of the Earth here. You get Buried Alive from The Return, Jane Seymour from the Henry VIII, The Prisoner from No Earthly Connection, Back to the Wives of Henry VIII, Catherine Parr. Then The Visit from Fields of Green, which is a beautiful piece of music. Then he does, from the Yes album, a little bit of Star Trip Trooper. It's a really good version. Not a bad album. An array of stars, including his son and Damien Wilson, Lee Pomeroy. It's pretty good. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 9. From 1995, it's called Almost Live in Europe, and it was recorded in Italy on his 1994 tour. So we've got Rick Wakeman on the keyboards, Davey Payton, of course, who's played on Fish albums, bass and guitars, Tony Fernandez, and the ever-present Ashley Holt on the vocals. So we get a track, opens up with a track called Elizabeth Rock, which is from the Time Machine album, which is another thing. And then we've got Make Me a Woman from the same thing. Catherine of Aragon's on here. Jane Seymour. Catherine Howard. Then The Realisation from No Earthly Connection and The Prisoner. King Arthur from the Arthur album. Guinevere's on here. Lancelot and the Black Knight. And The Last Battle. Solid album. You know, it's got quite a lot of the King Arthur album and the Wives album. So, yeah, it's a pretty good album. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8.2. Okay, coming in at number 8. Released in 2005. And it's at Lincoln Cathedral. And this just features Rick Wakeman, who plays the Steinway grand piano and Lincoln's Cathedral organ. So the first track is called Soul Mortality. A bit that he did for this. He was, as I said, he always used to sort things out. This is brilliant. Now, it sounds like the beginning of a church service. Now, I've been lucky enough to have attended an event in Lincoln Cathedral, and I've heard this organ. It's magnificent, and the sound in there is fantastic. Then another piece of music he composed for this called Dance of the Imps. I love the bass organ on that. It's super. It's a really nice track. Gifts from Heaven, one of the favourites on here. It's got a lovely sound to it. The Almighty belter of peace on the organ. Dawn and Dusk. It's one of them things when you're waiting for a church service to begin. It's really soft and thing. And then the Da Vinci variations. It's done on the piano. Wonderful piece. I listened to the last track. I love this album. You know that you put stuff that you've not off albums on it. It's a lovely album, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.3. Coming in number 7. It's live at the Hammersmith, and they released this in '85, but it's performed from the first 3 albums between '73 and '75. There was a power failure on this, and Rick went out on the phone, told jokes for 45 minutes, and it was just brilliant. So on here you've got Rick Wakeman on keyboards, Rick Fenn from 10cc, and Mike Alford on guitars, Chaz Cronk on the bass, Gordon Neville lead vocals and percussion, and Tony Fernandez. This one opens up with Arthur. Absolutely brilliant. I love Arthur. Then we have the Three Wives, and he puts together a little sort of compilation of Catherine of Aragon, Jane Seymour and Anne Boleyn. Then we get Journey from the Centre of the Earth, which includes the Journey, the Recollection and the Battle. A little bit of, and ends up with a little bit of Merlin. Good album. I like the concept of this, putting some great pieces together to make a little sort of medley, making the most of the time, and I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, coming in at number 6, released in 2012, and it's called In the Nick of Time, live in 2003, recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon. This features Rick Wakeman on keyboards, Ashley Holt on the vocals, and Glyn guitars, Lee Pomeroy on the bass. Catherine Parr opens this one up, and then Be Aware of Your Enemies, which is a new composition that he done. Some great bass playing from Lee Pomeroy on that bit. Then from Out There we have the title track, Out There. Lovely to hear that live. Then we get No Earthly Connection, Dance with a Thousand Lights, The Cathedral in the Sky, and this is a new track, sounds wonderful, from Right Rock, and then he plays Worm from Starship Trooper at the end. Lots of new stuff on here. The Wizardry, it's a very, very good concert. So I'm going to give that one an RTO ranking of 8.6. Okay, coming in at number 5. Now this came out in 2000. I'm not quite sure where it is recorded, but it's called The Legend, live in concert, and it's just Rick Wakeman on keyboards and synthesizers. There's some classical stuff on it, and he opens up with Patch of El Callan in D, which is a wonderful piece of music, and he plays that lovely. From Criminal Record, he does a bit of the Birdman of Alcatraz. Then he puts a little medley of Catherine Howard and Catherine Aragon together. And then Preludes to a Century, Seasons of the Change, lovely piece of music. A shortened version of Jane Seymour. And then he does this thing called the Nursery Rhyme Concerto, and he talks about this. And he does them in different styles of different composers. He does Bar Bar Black Sheep in the style of Mozart. Hickory Dickory Dock in the style of Ravel, Three Blind Mice as a Debussy, and then he throws in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the style of the legendary comic Les Dawson. Absolutely hilarious. And Pop Goes to Weasel in the style of Rachmaninoff. Brilliant little thing, very clever from Rick. Then we have Merlin the Magician from the King Arthur, Children of Chernobyl, which is a beautiful, moving piece from the Heritage Suite. And then we have the Recollection from the Journey of the Centre of the Earth, and A Thousand Lights from the Return. Then we have a bit of You and I and Wondrous Stories from Yes, Guinevere and Lancelot. Then we have Help and Eleanor Rigby, as he does on these solo pianos, and it ends with a lovely bit of Claire de Lune from Claude Debussy. Now this is a super album. It's a DVD video. But it's not just about the songs, it's the whole show, and Rick entertaining you. I mean, I'd love to go and see one of these. It's brilliant. It's worth a listen. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, coming in at number 4. Now this one's quite interesting because I've got it, and I remember Dave buying this in Boston, in America, when we was out there. It came out in 1996, and it was recorded in 1975, and it's just cool. It's one of these sort of Power Biscuit, King Hour Power Biscuit albums, whatever they call them. So it's got Rick Wakeman, Ashley Holt, John Dunstable, John Hodgson, Martin Shields, Reg Brooks, Roger Newell, and Tony Fernandez. Opens up with a little bit of a segment of the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. A little bit of Catherine Howard, fantastic. Lancelot and the Black Knights on there. Anne Boleyn, back to the Journey of the Centre of Earth for the Forest. Arthur and Guinevere put together, which sounds brilliant. We have Merlin the Magician and Catherine Parr. Great album, absolutely stunning album. Fine performance in his heyday as a solo artist. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 3 is an album released in 2023, and it's called Live at the London Palladium. It's a CD box set featuring both concerts he performed at the Palladium on the 22nd and 23rd of February 2023. So you've got Rick Wakeman doing piano, synths and keyboards, and then he's got the English rock ensemble, and at the time it was Hayley Sanderson on vocals, Dave Colquhoun on guitar, Adam Wakeman on keyboards and guitars, Lee Pomeroy on the bass. On the drums we've got Adam Faulkner and the English Chamber Choir. Some narration on here from King Arthur is done by the wonderful Ian Lavender, and Pete Egan does the narration on the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. So Act 1, you get the 6 wives of Henry VIII in their glory. Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anna Cleves, Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr. Act 2, you get all of the myths and legends of King Arthur, Lady of the Light, Guinevere, Lancelot, the best knight, Sir Galahad, Excalibur. Act 3, classic Yes. The Yes Suite, you get The Meeting, Wondrous Stories, South Side of the Sky, You and I, Starship Trooper. And then you get the whole of the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. Excellent box set. And at the end of it you get the Hall of the Mountain King and Mount Etna. Absolutely brilliant. Love listening to this. Haven't found it yet to buy, but it is on Spotify, and I love playing this. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.2. Coming in at number 2, an album released in 2009. It was recorded at Hampton Court on the 1st and 2nd of May 2009, and it's the 6 Wives of Henry VIII live. It's got extra bits that they couldn't get on the album, but now included, so you get a real brilliance. So you've got Rick Wakeman, Dave Colquhoun, Jonathan Noyce on bass, Adam Wakeman on guitars and keytar, Tony Fernandez drums, Ray Cooper percussion, Pete Rindy acoustic, and the orchestra is on there as well. Brian Blessed narrates. So the first track is called Tudor Tour 1485. Now this is a new piece, brilliant. It's sort of got the sort of that Tudor medieval feel to it. Some lovely keyboards, and then we go into Catherine of Aragon, Catherine Howard, Jane Seymour, and then we get a new track called Defender of the Face. This is a masterpiece. It's got some lovely strings on it, and it's a real extra to this album. Then we got Catherine Parr, Anne of Cleves and Anne Boleyn, and then we get Tudor Rock. This is classic Rick. He's kept it all in the same vein as the original album. Some wonderful keyboard runs on this, really good. Now this album includes them tracks that they couldn't get on the album. It's an excellent performance and it's an excellent recording, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. 3. But number 1, and it was number 1 in my 70s albums as well. There's only one, isn't there? It's The Journey to the Centre of the Earth, recorded at the Royal Festival Hall in 1974. Rick Wakeman's on all the keyboards. You've got Gary Pickford Hopkins vocals, Ashley Holt vocals, Mike Egan on the guitar, Roger Newell bass, Barney James drums, David Hetman's doing the narration. And the conductor was Dave Measham of the LSO and the English Chamber Choir. First you get the Journey and the Recollection. I love this. It just goes through the story. We all know this, and then you get the Battle on the Pharos, which is absolutely brilliant. It's just a fantastic album. It's your first debut album, and then it happens to be a live album as well. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 9.5. So there we go. They're all great albums. I like listening to Rick Wakeman live. That's been a real good one to do. Long one because it took a little while to put this one together. Coming up next is a brand new album, and it's the new album from the Doobie Brothers, Walk This Road. So join me for that. Bye for now.